We're live. What was I supposed to tell you?
Well, no, you don't have to tell me. I mean, we can just go live. And if you're watching the replay, well, welcome.
If you're watching the replay, David Burrows just scared Stephen Healey
for the third week running. I'm going to have to be prepared for this.
And you're still here.
Yeah, the 1 week you had no sound, but you did have sound. Right, okay. And Eddie, if you're watching now, thank you for joining us. And David's going to post a link, hopefully, on Facebook to join us live on air.
I am. I just have to find it because I posted it.
Well, whilst you're doing that, I just explain my not wearing a shirt, I suppose. It's a bank holiday in the UK, which means that the nation takes a holiday, apart from the shops who work Sunday hours. Our banks are closed. We have 8 of these every year, and it's basically a statutory holiday. In other words, you've got to take it, and if you work it, then you get paid extra. And so Christmas Day, Boxing Day, statutory holidays, and then first Monday in May and the last Monday in May are both bank holidays, and then New Year's Day is a bank holiday. August is a bank holiday. But it means that I haven't been working today. I haven't been checking things out on Facebook. I've been out in the fresh air at a charity event organised by our local Rotary Club.
Nice.
Yeah, in the sun, because it's 27 degrees here today.
Okay.
Which is a sort of record for the UK.
Yeah, we're about, I don't know, 15, 16, something like that.
We need to send you some sun.
Well, we've got sun. It's Mother Nature's been up and down. She's been smoking crack for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to be 23, 24 tomorrow, and then back down to 11 on Friday. Like, she's still kind of smoking the funny stuff, I think. I don't know.
Right.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Broadcasting to your community, which we're not really talking about anything. We're just kind of talking, which is great. That's what I love about Stephen Healey. And we just kind of wing it, and away we go. And there's Eddie Garrison already in the lobby. I reached out to him. And it's interesting that he's here because I was scrolling through the Be Live group looking for people to join my network as well, and I saw Eddie, and I thought, I got to reach out to that guy. So, and now the laws of the universe have spoken, and there he is. Welcome, Eddie.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. I see you guys all the time on shows and obviously in the Be Live community. And when Steve posted if somebody wanted to be a guest, especially with the topic of people just starting out, which is something I love to talk about, couldn't wait to jump on in and see if I could contribute something.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we appreciate the engagement. And I don't know if you just heard me saying that. I was going through the Be Livers group because with the page that I have, the Video Show Network, I'm doing the same thing that Steven's doing with the Live Video Hub and wanting people to join my network as well. So I saw you and I went, okay, awesome. Now, but you don't go live on a page though, do you?
I do actually. I go live on my personal account on a page, and I go live on my year.
Okay.
Yep. But I set a goal this year to go live at least twice a week in 2018 for myself. And so far, signing up for Be Live, I've done, I believe, right at 26 or 28 live streams personally, and probably at least that many as a co-host or a guest on other people's shows. So
that's fantastic.
I'm well above my goal that I set, which is awesome. I like it.
It's great when you set goals, and it's even greater when you achieve them.
and you know what? If you write them down and it's in your face every day, it's kind of hard not to. So I have it on my dry erase board in front of my right here in front of my desk. I have it on a small dry erase board on the refrigerator, and I even have it on the dry erase board in our laundry room. So.
Stephen, I love this guy. I tell my wife and my son all the time, write it down. And people who write things down are more likely to achieve their goals than those that just talk about them.
If it's in your face almost 24/7, it's hard to ignore, and it's kind of hard to kind of put it on the back burner since it's always right in your face.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Good for you. You're the right kind of person to be around.
Some would argue that point, but thank you very much.
People say that to me too, but I say, well, it depends who you ask.
Exactly.
That Dave's a nice guy. Yeah, well, ask around.
Right.
Stephen, do you know Eddie? I'm sort of getting that you do already.
We don't. No, this is the first time the three of us have met live.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
I think we've watched each other's shows.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
But it's the first time we've had the chance to get together and have a chat.
And Stephen, where do you live in England?
I live in Wiltshire.
Okay, I actually used to
Wiltshire.
live in Surrey in a little town called Byfleet. So,
Oh, Byfleet. Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay. So you came over here to work, or?
when I was in university, two of the guys that I lived with were from Byfleet, and a couple of times during the year, usually around the holidays, because it was obviously when we were off school, I would go visit. And then the last year that I was there, I was just like, "Why the hell with it? I'll stick around for a while." So that's how I got there.
Fantastic. So how did you discover BeLive?
Honestly, on Twitter, I saw somebody going live. And I was like, holy crap, look how cool these graphics look. Oh, wow, it's branded, because I was looking for something for my customers to be able to do that. And I wanted it to be branded. I didn't want it to be edited, because obviously I could put anything in Premiere Pro and, brand it and do whatever I needed. But on the live side, it was actually quite hard to find something like that was reasonably priced, actually. And I know OBS and all that good stuff is free, but I wanted something that my customers could just like drop on their phone and do it if I wasn't there. And BeLive presented itself almost pure happenstance, and I've been running with it ever since.
Yeah, it's a fantastic service.
And I love the fact that I can create all these different frames as well, because I come from a graphic design background, so I'm able to create all these and import them in, which is really, really nice.
Right. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once here.
Oh, sorry, I'm guilty of the same. I thought we're both not holding the fort. Right.
Yeah, well, BeLive is, I've been live streaming for about 10 years, so I've gone like way back to it and seen a lot of changes in the world. And like I used to use Skype, right, for my interviews.
Yep.
And I had a third-party app, I forget what it's called now, but and it was okay. And this was something that I was like, oh, why can't I? Like, I wish I was a programmer, because I have it right here. I just don't know how to, right? And then I'm even trying to remember how I discovered it. I think it was just Googling and Googling and Googling and Googling.
Right.
And then finally one day it showed up in front of my face, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
It is, and I love the platform itself. Obviously, I love the simplicity of it, but you can actually make it obviously as robust nearly as you want. With being able to bring in your own graphics and doing the screen share and everything. So that's one of the reasons that really attracted me to BeLive in the beginning. Was, like I said, I was looking for something for my customers to be able to pick up their phone, do if I couldn't make it to their live event. But then for myself, I was like, I need something a little bit more robust, and then I can bring in my own designs, and that's really that's what I like about BeLive. You can start out, hit the go live button, and you're there. It's really simple, or you can make it, your own monster, if you will.
Yeah. If Robert Stern can do it, anybody can do it.
Are you taunting him now? I know he's in the audience. I know he's watching. And Robert, if you want to join us, please do.
He has to join now.
Yeah,
right. He's getting called out.
Taunt him a bit more. I think that's the beauty of BeLive. It just works out of the box, and you can show somebody the ropes and get them live. And then if they want to take it further, start from your desktop, built-in camera and microphone. If you want to take it further, then you can do it. You can spend as much as you want, or as little as you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the word live, right, I think is, and Stephen and I have had this conversation many times between us and several other people. People are afraid to get in front of that camera. I think even once they get beyond that fear, they're still afraid of all the technical stuff that might go along with it, right?
Right.
And that BeLive takes that away, right? And I tell people, I say, just get in front of it and just click live, start broadcast. It's that simple.
Right.
And it can take a little bit to even, multitask and, bring in guests and do it. But really, it's not that hard, right? So,
that all comes in practice. Nobody's going to run a 10-person interview the first time they go live on Be Live. That's just not in the cards. It's not feasible. And another thing that's great about Be Live is, you don't even have to go live to test it out. You just hit that only me drop down box and you can practice before you go live. So that's a really good benefit, I believe, also to this platform, because I see a lot of people that are really, really solid on YouTube, but they never go live. And I don't know if it's obviously they don't mind being in front of the camera, but they like that polished, that edited, that quote unquote perfect look. But I think a lot of times these guys are missing a little bit, because going live, there's going to be mistakes. You're going to be in front of people, and there's going to be slip ups. But that's what makes you human, and that's what gives the live just that better, more experience, especially in engagement.
Right. And ready, set, go.
What did I miss? T-shirt Monday.
Yes, it is.
I'm the only one who's got a little collar.
Even I'm being lazy today.
It's a holiday in the UK, Robert.
Oh, the sun must be out.
I mean, I was just going to sit and listen and be nice and everything else, but no, David, you had to taunt me.
You would have come in anyway.
No, I did it to Steven the other day.
That's true. I didn't even know you were there.
He was like, I just popped on and didn't even say my hey. And he was like, whoa.
And there was Robert Stern.
Yeah, caught me.
How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing well, Robert. How are you?
Good.
Robert, what's new in your world?
The Sunshine State. Sorry.
What's new in my world? Just, hey, it's second week of May already.
Isn't that crazy? It's like, well, how did that happen?
7 more weeks of school and for my daughter, and it's like, what the hell's going on? It's like, as we get older, it moves faster. I thought it was supposed to. Well, maybe I move slower, but everything else moves faster.
yeah, that's probably the case. Well, I forget what movie was that I watched. It was an older movie. Oh, Eddie Murphy in. Was it Bowfinger or?
Oh wow, yeah,
or something or?
It's like you said, Eddie Murphy. Like, you can't be that old.
I can't remember what it was, but he was kind of like a god figure type thing, and he was saving everybody's lives and stuff. And what the heck was that called? Anyway, he said, when you put things in perspective, for example, if you say you're 80 years old, that sounds like a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only 80 summers, 80 springs, 80 winters, and 80 falls. And when you put it in that perspective, it doesn't seem like that much, does it?
So 320 seasons.
Yes, it would.
Right.
Be. When I was in university, I took.
Why do you got to ruin it?
Oh. Sorry.
No,
not you, Eddie, me. I said 320 seasons.
Oh. I took this sociology class, and our professor, and no one was able to ever give him a definitive answer, and it was quite something along these lines that you were just talking about, David. He goes, if we didn't have any concept of time, how old would you be?
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought to even think about.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So 2 + 2 is really 5.
Right, yeah. A little deep for Monday, I know. But
let me get the sleep out of my eyes. Come on.
Where is everybody? I know Stephen is obviously in England. David, are you in Canada?
I am in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. About 73,000 people where I'm at. And right on the border of Port Huron, Michigan, the thumb of Michigan.
Yeah, right.
I can go that way 3 minutes, and I'm on the Blue Water Bridge into the United States. Yeah.
And they just let you come in, David? I mean,
yeah, they do.
Trust me, his picture's on the wall there.
Right, yeah. I knew I saw your picture somewhere. I just couldn't place it.
Depends who's working the gates that day.
Right. And Robert, where are you at?
I paid them off.
I'm right outside New York City. I'm in Jersey.
Cool.
Jersey.
Not the Jersey by Steven, the Jersey over here.
Right, yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Now,
and the funny part is I'm in Essex County of New Jersey.
What? There's a lot of England in the USA as far as town and city names is concerned.
Yes, there is.
I watched a video over the weekend on Saturday morning, and I've got to say, it hit home. It was a very moving speech in front of a live audience of 610 people. And this chap stood up, and spoke for about 5 minutes, and he had the audience totally on his side by the end of it. And the gentleman is from Canada, and that gentleman is David Burrows. David, would you like to tell us about Friday night?
Sure.
I was waiting for him to go, no.
Well, that's opening.
I'm not usually thrown off, but it's okay. Well, it was a pretty emotional night. So we do this thing. A friend of mine started it. His name is Adam Dumont, and he's a realtor here in Sarnia. And last year, he started something called Sarnia Sings, and it's for a fundraiser and awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. So he brought me in last year to have me help him with some, kind of consulting on how to put things together, whatever. And then he asked me to be the MC, and it went really well. And then this year, he had me back again as the MC. And I even, Stephen, you didn't see it. It wasn't put out there. I'll put it out there. But I sang a song, and I had another speaking moment right before that. And then what Stephen's referring to. So we have like 20 singers, and it's kind of like karaoke, but like there's words on the screen on the stage, but the music doesn't come out. There's actually a live band behind you playing the music. They call themselves Rockstar Live, and they're fantastic. Members from Killer Dwarfs, Moist, the band Toronto, Burton Cummings Band are all in this band. So you're actually rocking it out with real rock stars. And so we had 20 singers. There's probably about 4 or 5 young kids, like 7 to 10 years old, who your jaw would just be on the floor as soon as they open their mouth. You're like, really? And then there's adults in it as well. So everybody comes out, sings one song, and we just keep going. And there's actually no rehearsal to it. There's the rehearsal is like the day of. If you want a quick run through on your song or part of, that's it. So it's really super live. So I was given the opportunity.
It was a moment.
It's an emotional thing. Yeah. And my friend Marty O'Black was coming out to play his guitar, and he pulled me backstage and said, "Dave, I want to talk to you about how you're going to introduce me." So we went down into the green room by ourselves, and he come to tell me about how his roommate ended his life back in November. And I asked him who it was, and it turned out I knew him as well, and I had no idea. So that was kind of part of the lead in to the speech that I gave. It's on my Facebook page. So it was like, I find this out right before I'm about to walk out on stage and start the show. So anyway, holding it together as best as it is. So it was definitely an emotional night, but it was also a very positive and entertaining night with all the music and the talent that was up there. And it was a sold out crowd of 610 people in our local theater. So so I was given a moment to embrace the crowd, if you will, and share stories.
I just want to say that I watched it on Saturday morning, and it went far beyond the 610 people who were actually there live. And if anybody gets a chance to visit David's page, I suggest that you do take a look, because it was a very emotional evening. But it was a fundraiser as well, wasn't it, David? To bring attention not only to the problem, but to raise funds.
Yeah, and I think, and it did, well, obviously it did well. It's 610 people. It's mental health is one of those conversations that comes up quite often on my show, my other show, which is, I don't even bring it up. It just somehow comes into the conversation. As a matter of fact, today on my show, one of the gentlemen coming on, Craig McKenzie's from a local agency, to talk about Mental Health Awareness Week, which here is starts on today. So all this week is Mental Health Awareness Week. So it's kind of everywhere. And I think the biggest part of it all is that you never know who it really is that it's affecting. I interviewed Michael Landsberg, who was a big sports guy here in Canada on TSN, and he speaks out about mental health. When I interviewed him off camera, the off camera interviews are often the ones that are the most interesting. But he said, even arrogantly, he said, and I mentioned it in my speech the other day, was that people don't know who it really affects. He says, people look at me all the time and go like, look at him. He's got money and he's got fame and a great family. Oh my goodness, he's admitting he has mental health issues. So you just don't know, right? So anyway, thank you, Stephen, for that.
Okay, it was a family affair too, wasn't it? I mean, the video was taken by your son.
Yeah, my son. I'm kind of proud of that kid. That's his studio right through there, Eddie.
Okay.
He was doing.
He's in the wall, Eddie.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not sure. We were just talking about mental health issues, and now you're just speaking to a wall.
When you're a child and your parent is David Burrows, you be really careful what you say. Or you'll get in the wall.
Right. So he was there taking all the video for the night, and I embarrassed him as well. I made him stand up in front of everybody and wave, and I did the same thing to my wife, and she was like, "Really? Why is he got to do that every time?"
I'm gonna kill him later.
Right. Yeah, that's that one. Right. I'm gonna kick your ass later. Well, that was really funny because she did say that later, and she was like, "I was hoping that he couldn't see me because it was really dark, but one time the house lights came up, and I look at, there she is." So
but you know what's funny, David? I mean, everybody's been at these awards dinners or fundraisers or anything else, and you get up there and you want to talk about your family. And they think you're not going to do it. And they think, the lights are out and everything else. But wait a minute. You all came in the car together, so you know she's in the room. So if you're going to say something, you kind of know she's there.
There you go.
Is that your son? Obviously?
That's my son. And I challenge you to come on the show. Click the link.
Or walk into the room.
We'll see. Yeah, he might just walk into the room and say, "Hey," but so and he helps me. He helps me. We live stream lacrosse games here in town. We do like a 5-camera shoot for that, and he helps me with that. And we do a lot of work with our friend Kevin Jack from WeStream and cameras and everything and all that. So he's having his 18th birthday coming up in August, and yeah, him and I work our business together. So he's a part of my business. He's a partner.
I meant to ask you, David, with Kevin Jack, did you know him before Be Live?
No. Oh, before Be Live. Yeah, before Be Live I did.
Okay, because I remember when he came on one time and he was explaining what he did, and you didn't mention you did work with him yet or not. So that's why so it's kind of like it's showing, even to collaborate with people, how much live streaming works.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so we discovered each other in a Switcher Studio group. That's the platform that we use, and then we started going, "Oh, he's in Canada. Oh, he's in Canada," and it was really quite odd because I reached out to him, and he had almost was hitting the enter key to send me a message when he got mine, and then we've collaborated. They're up Niagara way, so they're about I don't know 3.5 hours from where we live. And we just collaborated, and Jason and I have been to many events to work for them through my company. And actually, this weekend we're going to where are we going? Oshawa to do one. Oh, look, the BOY wants to join the broadcast.
The BOY.
That's what we call them, the BOY. So I'll have to kick one of you out temporarily.
Kick me out. You're okay. I'll take someone.
Even would volunteer.
Steven throwing himself on the grenade.
There he is.
He does it all the time.
No problem at all.
Send the link and see what embarrassing things my son has to say about his old man.
So he doesn't realize that the link is pinned to the top? Jason?
No. I know. I told him.
No. Jason?
Jason, I have to go. I got to dig a hole in the wall. Let him out.
Yeah, one of those vacuum things, you know.
You just mentioned actually, David, Switcher Studios. That was one of the first ones that I used as well.
Oh, okay.
Because you could bring in your own logo and do that. The only thing at the time, I'm not certain if it's changed or anything, but you couldn't see the comments, the Facebook comments through.
Yeah,
Switcher.
that's been added now. Actually,
that has okay.
Switcher Studio, yeah.
Okay.
And you can go live using a custom RTMP as well. So I use Restream, so I go live to Periscope and Twitter,
right.
and YouTube, and wherever all at the same time.
Right. The reason I jumped on Switcher first was because you could go live on YouTube without having the YouTube follower count. You could have one follower, one subscriber, and you could go live to your YouTube channel, which was cool.
Yeah. No, it's quite a platform. Like we did a lacrosse game yesterday. You can add up to 9 cameras to it now.
Right.
And we do, what do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 camera shoot in an arena. And as long as you have a good Wi-Fi signal, it's fantastic. Right. Here it comes.
Okay.
Now, son, why are you going to embarrass me and be in portrait mode? Much better. Steven, I'm kicking you out.
Okay.
That's funny.
Thanks for embarrassing the old man.
Portrait mode, really? Hello, son.
Hey, BOI.
I could go back. There you go. Oh, no, I just ruined everything.
Oh, that hurts when you do that.
Look at his setup, too. He's got the mic and the big screen. And
Yeah.
Is that a snowball mic?
Yeah.
Because I have the Yeti or the blue. Yeah, I got the Yeti.
Yeah, I got it ghetto rigged here with zip ties and crap, and it works.
They put zip ties on the space shuttle. It can't be that ghetto.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it depends which one you're talking about.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So this is my son Jason, or AKA the BOY. Who I brag about often, and he does actually exist, and I let him out of the wall so he can be here.
Well, I see he's working. He's what is he editing?
I do see an editing software going.
Recording software. I'm in the middle of working on a tutorial on how to work this program. This open broadcaster software.
Nice.
So Jason's my co-op student. He's in high school. And his afternoon is that they have to have a co-op, and he ended up doing his co-op with Dad, and so his co-op is often coming out and live streaming with me. We do a live stream from our local college doing video games, and so today he's working on, what are you on, part 3 or 4 of your tutorial?
Part 3.
Yeah.
Jason, how old are you?
17.
And you want to be involved in digital media and all this live streaming stuff and everything?
Yeah.
Or are you just doing this to please Dad?
That's partially the reason. I'm just like, sure, why not? Because he asked me to be a student. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm already doing this, so I might as well get credit for it.
Exactly. Well, it beats sitting in school for 8 hours. You only got to sit in there for 4 hours now.
It's an interesting relationship that we have, because we have a great father-son relationship already, which I'm grateful for. But there are times like co-op, right? Like I'm the boss, right? I'm not Dad. I'm the boss. And I have to learn how to
outside of
differentiate.
club, you can still be a boss.
What's that? What'd you say, Jay? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, yeah, you guys cut out a bit. I said, like, even outside co-op, you can be a bit of a boss sometimes.
well, Dad and boss are synonymous terms, Jason. Yeah. I have that argument with my daughter, too.
Okay.
We have our moments, though. Like, I mean, yesterday was actually an example of, I wasn't necessarily overly impressed with how he was handling some things at the broadcast. So the dad in me wanted to speak up right away, but there were other people around, so I had to be the proper boss and get through it. And then after, in a quiet, private messenger sort of way. We had to have the conversation. But Jason's also really good, honestly, at expressing himself towards me when he feels like there's a better way to be doing it, or maybe he didn't like the way I handled it. So and I have to respect that as a boss and as a dad too, right? So I'm pretty fortunate.
I know those perils. I worked for my family for the better part of 12 years, and it gets to a point where sometimes it's hard to have a separation, because you could butt heads at work, and then you're supposed to be going out for a family dinner 45 minutes later, and you're like,
happy.
Your boss just called you an idiot, but your mom is going to pick up the check. So where do you go with that?
Yeah, that's right. And if she's paying, I kind of got to go.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that you got that father-son relationship, and you're breaking down the wall between you two.
Pun intended.
The wall.
It's like right there.
Yeah.
It was Donald Trump's idea.
Yeah, but who paid for it?
It wasn't me.
People in Quebec.
Jason. Ooh. Jason's, and of course, I know I sound like I'm bragging because of my son, and I kind of am, I guess. But Jason's done really well at being his own person too, not just because when we go out, like Jason will tell you, he rolls his eyes because everybody knows David Burrows, right? And when we're out and about. But he's had to learn how to handle that sometimes. It can be a pain in the butt sometimes for him. But he's his own person, his own personality, and because he's out in the community with me, people are recognizing that, and he's learning too the importance of relationships with people in the community and networking, and he's becoming his own entrepreneur as well, right? Which is now
people walk up to you and go, "Aren't you Jason Burrows' dad?" Well,
what's really funny is, Jay, I don't know if I told you this.
Uh-oh.
Did I tell you this story? So we were at Skits. Make me come.
You haven't told me yet, so I don't know.
We're gonna see it, Eddie. We're gonna see a black screen. And go,
I know, right? It's the Robert Netty show here for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we were at Skits, which is one of our local high schools. And it's called Great Lakes Secondary right now because the school that Jason went to closed, so they moved them all over here to this old school that's going to be closed and likely tore down. And it's 97 years old. So there are people in the community trying to save it, et cetera, et cetera. So it was built in 1921, and there was a time capsule put in the cornerstone of the building in 1921. So they had an event, a time capsule opening. And I was invited in to live stream the event and the opening of this time capsule. So again, using Switcher Studio, we had one. It was just a 2-camera shot, but I was live up on stage with my camera as they opened this capsule. So anyway, that's a whole other story. But I was setting up my sound, and I was trying to get a live feed out of the board. So I was waiting for the sound guy. And anyway, the sound guy gets there, and it's this young fellow about Jason's age. And he says to me, he goes, "You're David Burrows, right?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, you're Jason's dad." Instead of, oh, you're Dave Burrows' kid. So it was like the other way around. And my wife was standing there. We just laughed so hard because we just thought, oh, boy.
Did you happen to get a name?
His name was Steve. Steve, I don't know, he was a co-op student there. Pardon?
Did he have like a goatee thing and blonde hair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah. It was just funny that he goes, "Oh, you're Jason's." It was the other way around. Anyway, I guess you had to be there.
But you know something? That's actually a good thing because I've gotten that too, where somebody said, "Oh, you're Raina's dad."
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's a proud moment. It's kind of like, wow, they're making a name for themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And kids are doing it at a much earlier age now. Like, I didn't become an entrepreneur myself until about 4 years ago. And I'm 41. So, But I think that obviously technology and specifically video in general now, I did it the old school way. I went to college. I've got 2 associate's degrees, a bachelor's degrees, and a master's, right?
Yeah.
And now everybody can learn, minus the master's part, basically everything that I did on YouTube. I learned it in a university, but you could learn it on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Especially the graphic design stuff. I went to school to be a graphic designer in the beginning, and it just kind of parlayed into something different. But, I've taught people in private chat, in private groups now, how to use Photoshop, how to use Adobe Premiere. And, I had to go to school for 6 years to learn how to do all this.
Yeah.
My daughter, Raina, Eddie, is 11. She has a YouTube channel.
Right.
She does her own graphics and thumbnails. She uses Canva. She uses Camtasia.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an 11-year-old.
Right. Well, there's the one kid on YouTube that's like 8 that grosses $1 million a year doing toy reviews.
Yeah. What was that, Jason?
Is that Evan Tube HD you're talking about?
David, I got to get this real quick.
Who's that?
Sure.
Oh, okay, then never mind. You don't know who he is. So it's not a kid
I'll
that's
put you in
making
the
$1 million
lobby for
a year.
Oh, no, who used Evan? Yeah, that's him.
Yep, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's
Steven,
amazing.
you're coming back.
Good. No, I know I'm back. Jason, kudos for coming on screen with your dad.
Thank you.
It's good to hear the 2 of you together. And times have changed. I think we'd all agree that you can find out anything you need to know through video, on YouTube. The times of having to, we're fortunate. We're fortunate. And to be 17, 18 and entering this industry, you're coming in at the most exciting time.
Mm-hmm.
Because this technology that we're using today has only been with us for the last 2 years. So your timing is good.
And a lot of the bugs are getting already worked out, so you don't have to worry about those.
I won't have to endure such pain and suffering through slow video and buffering and delay. And
Yep.
Do you even know what dial-up internet was, Jason?
beep, beep.
When I started into the internet world, I had a bulletin board system. Do you remember what those were? A BBS?
Yep.
And I had a 1200 baud modem.
Yep.
And I went from that to a 2400 baud modem.
Yep.
And then I went to an HSR robotics 14.4. And that was a kick-ass modem at that time.
I remember when I was a kid and my parents just upgraded their computers in their office to 400 meg hard drives, and now I have a 1 terabyte USB drive.
I know. 64K ought to be enough to last anybody a lifetime.
Right.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, Bill Gates.
True. Well, we had 32K RAM. Let's go back. 32K RAM, not 32. And the floppy disk drives were 7-inch, 140K.
Yeah.
So not even.
I remember having a floppy, like the big floppies that were
Yes.
360K.
I remember the old Commodore 64 playing video games, and you would have to change. There was actually 2 floppies because the games were so big that they couldn't fit on one.
That's right. I remember that. A computer that nobody computed on. It was a gaming computer. That's all you did. We played Jumpman Jr. for hours.
I'm so thankful that I live in a generation where these are not new.
Right. There's a meme that's all over, obviously, all the social media, and there's a guy just holding those old 512 megabyte, the little 3.5 ones, and he's got like a stack, and it's about 3 foot tall, and then he's got a zip drive in the other hand, and he goes, "This is now this."
Yeah, zip drives. Oh my God! I remember when they came out. I was like, "Oh my God, I got to get one of those."
Oh heck yeah! You could get a gig of storage. I was like, "Whoa!"
This is him then. This is him now.
Exactly.
Feel old yet?
Yeah. Well, Steven, you just hit the nail on the head. Are you 32K or whatever of RAM? And on my computer right now, on my desktop, I have 512 gig of RAM. So.
Yeah.
This guy is up here. I don't know who I'm grabbing at right now.
It's that way. It's confusing because we're all seeing a different screen.
Yeah.
Am I grabbing at you right now?
No,
You're grabbing
I'm
your
sitting,
dad for me.
I'm sitting on your head right now.
Just a minute.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
sure we all have
that's
different
true.
views of where we're at on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm in the bottom right. I don't.
I think is that where everybody is on their screen? Like, because I'm in the bottom right on my screen as well.
Yeah, the bottom right for all guests.
Ah, gotcha.
And it's a different experience from hosting. The host's in total control. He can drop us at any moment. He can bring us on screen. He can switch our microphones off. He can change the graphics. He's still with us.
I'm seeing a new. No, he had to take a call. I'm seeing a new feature here. Wait a minute.
Go.
Ooh.
I'm going to try it on Steven.
He's gonna accidentally close
How
the browser.
cool is that?
What did
Steven,
it do?
did you know about this?
What? Where was I?
So beside the solo button, there's
Yeah.
a new button, and when I click on it underneath the person, so the three of us are now small on the bottom, and
Yeah.
you are large on top.
See, I'm in charge. I am the overlord of this show, despite the fact that David's hosting it.
Did you know about this?
Yeah. Managed to use it in Loving for Britain.
Oh,
last week.
wow.
It's quite effective.
That's quite so now. Yeah, so Eddie is now on top of the three of us,
Oh Lord.
and now Jason is.
Yeah. In
I hit the
fact,
solo button.
It's only an hour show, Dad.
What's that, buddy?
It's only an hour show, Dad.
in fact,
Don't
when
know
there
where
are
he gets
guests-
his sarcasm from.
I have no idea at all.
I watch a lot of Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, wow. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah.
See, back in my day, Jason, Robert Downey Jr. was a talk show host. Not that Robert Downey you're thinking of, but there was another guy named Robert Downey Jr. And he was the big mouth. You remember that? Do you remember who that was, Eddie? Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah, he was kind of like he was like Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer.
Wow. Wasn't Jerry Springer a weatherman at one point or something like that? I mean, he was
Of a TV show. Yeah, he's actually I don't know if he still is. He was the mayor of a city.
probably
Believe it or
Vegas. I think everybody's the mayor of Vegas. I've been, and they just anointed me. Eddie, you are now the mayor of Las Vegas. I was like, oh,
I think you can buy that online.
I try. It's on Amazon. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go.
I saw somebody the other day doing a live video of like all the cool things that you can buy on Amazon, and he bought a house live on the air.
Isn't that unbelievable?
I was like, really, dude?
Wow.
Wasn't it like a lot easier to just buy a house back in those days?
Well,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it was. It was a lot cheaper. I can tell you that.
yeah, no kidding.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, if you live in London at the moment and you're looking to buy a house and you say late 20s, early 30s, then you can't, because finding the deposit is just virtually impossible.
Right.
And with house prices over $1 million,
Well, I mean, that's
On
only like 600,000 pounds, isn't it?
yeah.
Is that about right? 700?
At the moment, it is. I've just got paid by Udemy, and I can confirm that is the exchange rate. Yeah. So, yeah, I was, when you had me down in the lobby, David, I was busy saying hello to everybody.
Caren is up there. Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying a house now is. I'm not sure I'd ever do it again. Like, we live in a condo now, and it's just, to each their own. It's the means to the means to an end, whatever your end is going to be. But I'm not sure I would ever do it again.
Yeah. It's one thing Jason's been really good at saving money.
oh
He's-
yeah.
I'm not paying for his college. He is. And that's, I've said that to some people where I said, hey, I told my kids a long time ago when they were little, I'm not paying for your college. Now, of course, we're going to help along the way.
Right.
But he didn't need to know that at the time. And now he's got his money. He's still putting the money away. He's got enough money to pay for his 2 years of college, and he's going to get himself a nice laptop, and he's paying for it all. And the great thing about that, as we as adults know, is that he can be pretty proud of that when he graduates and say, you know what, I did this.
Right.
I totally did this.
And one of the biggest things too about that, Jason, is going to be that you're not going to be in debt like 80% of people that come out of college are right after they graduate. So,
yeah.
It's
the same in the UK.
As soon as I get in, I just pay it off, and I won't have to worry about being broke.
Exactly.
Jason has a job at the college.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Tell everybody about what you do there, Jay.
I work in the esports arena. I log people onto the computers, and they get to use them hourly. It's like $5 an hour and like $4 an hour if you're a student. And there's like 40 plus games to play on there. And I just usually sit behind the desk, wait for people to come by and use the computers. And I just work the debit machine. Say, here you go, pay me. And then I log them on.
Pay me.
Pay me.
Does that include helping them to get started on a game?
Yes. And I can also give them a bit of extra time if there are any updates they need to get done, or if they have troubles. We have a whole bunch of controllers too. If they prefer to use controllers, they can bring in their own mouse, keyboards, if they're comfortable using their own tech and hardware and stuff.
So, and the other great thing about that is it looks good on a resume when you graduate that you worked at the college in the field that he's going into, which he's taken the esports and entrepreneurship program. They have an esports arena. It's the only one in Canada, or well, at least in Ontario.
I'd be one of Canada.
That's
one of
cool,
three.
especially working in the field, because you see so many people that go to college because, that's the way that it's supposed to be. And they go get like, oh, well, what's your degree in, like Eastern Australian folk art? Okay. Unless you're going to work in Eastern Australia, that degree is, I hate to say it, almost worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a pretty cool place to be. Like we started doing we sort of have I'm not allowed to say partnership, but a collaboration with the college. Yeah. We started doing our live streams at the esports arena. I was there for the big announcement of it, all that kind of stuff. So we began a relationship there. And Jason and I go in there every Thursday and do a 2-hour live stream broadcast playing video games. And actually the last couple he's done on his own because I've been busy. And it's sort of been, he doesn't know this, but he'll probably figure it out. One of my reasons for doing that was to get Jason interacting more with other people like his age, make new friends, that kind of thing, right? And so going in there, there's other people in there.
Figured that.
Yeah. And then I left him alone a couple of times on purpose, and so that now he engages with other people and.
Sorry, Jason, I gotta go to a meeting. I'll be right back. That was just a lot of.
These games, though, do tend to get competitive between the two of you.
Between Jason and I?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a friendly sort. Yeah. Like, but he's way better at it than me. I mean, there's no question.
This is what 3 hours of Fortnite does to you.
Yeah, we're competitive that way, but I mean, in a fun way, not really.
I mentioned it in a good way. Yeah, I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. And for me too, as the dad, it's so I've taught Jason a lot of things in the live streaming world, but he teaches me too, right? Like when we go into the esports arena playing the video games, I can play them. I mean, I get it, right? But that's his world. And he teaches me. What?
I've had to teach you not to chase people with a sniper rifle without using the scope.
Yeah. It doesn't end well.
No, I can imagine. E-gaming is really, it's coming up. I live in Orlando, Florida, and they have one of the nationals to get to like the world of, it's called Dota, I think. Is that a correct pronunciation, Jason? You may know it better than I do. It's one of those shooting games. But the team that won here, they have like 5-man teams. But they won $1 million when they won here in Orlando. So,
is it Dota 2 you're talking about?
Dota 2, that's it. Yeah.
I've heard of the game. I know nothing about it. Dota 2.
And they sold out the arena, and this is where the Orlando Magic play, and there was about 35,000 people in there watching. So.
Yeah. Our Air Canada Center here in Toronto has had events there, and it's like 30,000 people.
Yeah,
it's just like it's a video game, but yeah, it's $1 trillion industry, right?
Oh, it's one of those games. Okay, I'm just looking it up right now.
I'm not familiar with it. I just saw it, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool. I kind of want to go check it out."
Yeah. Yeah, it's and Stephen, you made a good point, and both Stephen and Eddie, timing is everything, and the way you can often succeed is to place yourself ahead of a trend before it happens, right? And the timing of this live streaming is like there was a time right when we said the internet. I think I've heard of that, right? And then it was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, and now it's like. At least in Canada, or at least in Ontario, anyway, the government has labeled it. How does that go now? They labeled it, or it's considered a life necessity appliance.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
so they're just going to give it to you free then?
Well,
not that necessary, is it?
But it does get how does that work? I'm trying to think. It's getting the government is funding some areas that rural areas that have trouble getting it. So it's kind of like a mandated. You must provide that service now or something. I forget exactly what it is.
So everybody that lives in like Flin Flon is getting it for free.
I don't know if they're getting it for free, but the companies are. I don't know if they're. I guess they're mandated to make it available to everybody.
And yes, I do know where Flin Flon is. That's why I brought it up.
Oh, never heard of it.
Manitoba.
We always say Timbuktu.
Yeah, Flin Flon, Manitoba. It's up there.
Flin Flon, Manitoba. Never heard of it. That's cool. I guess I'm going to have to Google that one.
It hadn't been discovered yet, but it's there.
So Jason's really in a. I don't even think he realizes just the importance of where he's positioned right now. For success and just being at the right place at the right time and the opportunities that are available. Even for myself in the esports world, I've been working on more and more collaborating with others to be the announcer for these things, right? Be the sports guy.
And do you bring the tech in too? Or is it just you as an MC, for lack of a better term?
Do I bring the tech in?
Like, do you bring all the gear in to live stream for these guys, or do you just come in as a pure ring master?
At the college. Oh no, it's all in there. They use OBS.
Okay.
That's the other thing too. Is I've been using OBS for a couple of years. Jason's was familiar with it, but now I've been teaching him OBS, and that's the program.
Him too.
Yeah, we teach each other. That's right. And that's the tutorial he's working on right now. Is on how do you do OBS. And guess what they're teaching at the college?
OBS.
So he's going to be ahead of the game when he walks into that classroom, which, like I've told him, it gives him the opportunity to be a leader as well and help others. And who knows?
After you graduate, you could be like an adjunct professor.
Yeah. And they're already talking about other programs. So who knows, right? Yeah. So you're pretty, you're Jason, you're signed up for big and great things, buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I see. The reason I asked that, David, it wasn't just an off-the-wall question, is I see a lot of people reaching out to me now because I have all the gear and all the tech, and they just don't have the time or the resources to go do it. So they're actually just bringing me in to shoot all of their video, be it live stream or edited, because I just simply have all the gear in one place. I can just show up, shoot it, and leave. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of that too, videography work and iPhone videography or whatever, and Jason does that too, and it's kind of funny, because even going back to like Switcher Studio, and Kevin Jack, if he happens to be out there listening, he's either listening or he's taking care of his daughter. Never know where he is, but it's an iPad, and then iPhones are the cameras, right?
Right, exactly.
When somebody sees you using that, sometimes they go, "Oh, it's just an iPad? Oh, is that all it is?" Like, go have at her, man, because there's way more to it than just hooking up those cameras.
Yep. I've tried using BeLive that way, and you can. It's a little not tricky, but it's a little more in depth than Switcher is. But I work with a guy that I used to go to high school with who played in the NFL, and he live streams his camps for kids that live out of district or whatever. And I bring in my iPad, and that's where I start the Be Live from. And I have 3 mobile phones, so we have 3 separate cameras, if you will, set up all around the complex. And just like you said, everybody's looking at it like, you're just doing this on an iPad? I can do it. I'm like, okay, cool, go do it.
Yeah.
Show me what
Did you say
got.
you start Be Live on an iPad?
Yeah,
I didn't think you could do that.
I can. I just go to Safari and go to BeLive.tv and it works fine.
Seriously?
Yes, seriously.
Eddie never said that. That never happened. This is not official.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, no, you're okay. Nobody will watch this far into the video.
Anything could blow my dad's mind at this point.
Nobody watches this show.
I mean, it's just I'm going on the internet. I'm not starting it from the app.
Oh.
I just go to a regular. I just go to the URL.
You've been holding out on me.
I'm not. My lips are sealed. I'm not saying anything to anybody because
I have never said that I've done that before publicly.
No, basically the problem is that as far as Be Live are concerned, you would want to have the technology ready. So that if Facebook do change their mind, you can say to everybody, right, go onto the browser on your tablet and it will work. Okay, and a few of us discovered it, Eddie included, by accident. And I've been sworn to secrecy. So,
Allegedly. I love that word. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's as far as Be Live is concerned, it's against the terms and conditions from Facebook.
Yeah.
So it could never be done
Terms
publicly.
and conditions.
Which is funny because I can do it from a laptop. What's the difference?
It's basically Facebook saying that you cannot create a multi-person broadcast from a mobile if you are a Facebook developer.
Right.
Yeah, and the API terms and conditions say that you cannot have more than one person on screen. That's the preserve of Facebook. Yeah.
Is it you can't have more than one person on screen?
I mean, we have 4 now.
No, sorry, this is desktop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Right.
So hosting from your iPad or your Android tablet does not officially exist.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, lovely weather we're having.
It's nice. It's nice here in Orlando. It's 91 Fahrenheit.
No. Right. Just time for an update on the live video hub. Since being an idea 2 weeks ago, there are now 10 live shows on there today, and we didn't make it. We, set things up and hope that you'll actually be there, but somebody else went live before we did, David, so we weren't on there today.
I see.
There are now 91 broadcasters, all broadcasting on the live video hub, all using BeLive.tv from their desktops.
Fantastic.
Notice that bit.
I've got about 3, maybe 4 now with Eddie.
Quality. No, it's basically it's just pushing and pushing.
Now, what's your process though, Stephen? Like, I see some shows out there, and I go, I don't want that on my network.
That's because it's your network. You decide. You're the quality controller.
Yeah. Do you do that, or are you just putting whoever wants to be on there?
Well, if it's legal on Facebook, it's legal on Facebook. But there is a filter there. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, what happens is that people put their Facebook business page address in. I go and have a look. Then I come back and actually set up the cross-post link, invite them to join, and then give them the magic information as to how to do it.
So you've been busy reaching out to people.
Oh yeah, I'm committed to this. This is every May I have a blinding idea and just go with it. Last year was Be Live in 5.
Yep.
And the Udemy courses, and this year is the live video hub.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah, I've got to put more effort into, but see, for me, it's while we're doing the same thing, it's a little bit different because TVSN is a brand too, right?
Oh yeah,
and represents certain things, music, events, and community. So, I mean, I've seen some things out there being used by Be Live, and I'm like, I don't want that topic discussed on my right at all. So it's got to be positive and good and whatever. So Eddie, you're That's fantastic, though, Stephen. That you've got that many. I think I'm not surprised that it took off for you, because you come up with these ideas and you always put both feet in the water and go, and that's just a huge benefit to. It's like an added feature to Be Live now that
Definitely.
you don't have to be.
It is. Well, I mean, the thing is, from a viewer's point of view, until now you've not been able to find the Be Live show, even if you wanted to. Now we're getting people to broadcast on the same page, so you can actually find people who are live, and it will eventually become a sort of the equivalent to a television channel.
Yeah.
Insofar as it will be broadcasting from from about 9 in the morning till midnight. That's the general plan.
So we're not live there because
We've just gone live because somebody else was live at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, so you can't have two live at the same time?
No, we discovered that. We're learning as we go along.
Okay.
And Joshua Berglund was live at 12 p.m. Eastern too. So he won the slot.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then when somebody, like when he dropped off, does the next show in the queue just go right and replace it?
Yeah, we're live there now.
Okay.
And we'll stay live until we finish, and then the
Why
next
don't I
one will
see
come.
us? Why don't I see it? Where did we go?
Where
It's
did
probably
we go?
way down.
We're the main video at the moment, and we've just been replaced. Cheryl's just gone live.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, that's Cheryl Piper, and we're going to disappear shortly because Cheryl's
Right.
taking over.
So you don't mind me reaching out to these same people, do you?
Not at all, no.
Yeah, I'd like to, because
I mean, what we do know is that cross-posting live works.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. There's the hub, which is sort of everybody, and then there are private arrangements between broadcasters which benefit both sides. It's a win-win. There's no way to lose at this.
Yeah.
And you can choose who you want to cross-post with, and go live according to whatever rules you decided. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's fantastic.
The more exposure, the better, all the way around for everybody.
that's right. Yeah. I mean, the key is to find people who've got presence. You know, I mean, if we could all get on Jeff Adams' page, then we'd be singing and dancing.
I'm on his show on Thursday, actually.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I'm jealous.
He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, you're a solopreneur. You're doing this. You know, do you have any tactics that you use for people that are just coming up to it?" And he was like, and he's calling it the lone wolf episode of Live Positive. So,
Oh, that's cool.
so
That's
we're gonna be discussing the perils, the advantages, and the little drawbacks that it is to working by yourself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I'm a one man show. I do everything.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, we're over time here, and I got to move on too, and I got to make sure the BOY is doing his work like he's supposed to right now.
He's multitasking because I see two different head muffs.
Don't make me put you back in that wall.
Jason, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and
It's nice meeting you too.
every future success.
Yep. Nice meeting you, Jason.
Yeah.
luck
Eddie,
with
I
the-
sent you a friend request, and let's send me some links, and I'll find your page, and we'll get the cross posting thing going there.
Yeah, I'll have to look it over before I accept it, but yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. Sure, no problem.
I'm just playing with
You
you.
know what? Just forget it, Eddie.
I know, right? Unfriend me. I'm blocking you on Facebook, Mr. Burrows. Jason's dad.
I'll find you and stick you in a wall. For all of you who may be watching live, and thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching the replay, type replay down in the comments below, and give us a 10 in the comments below if you enjoyed any part of the show. Type the number 10 down there. It's better than a high five. I'm stealing that from Owen Hemsmith, but there. Give us a 10, and we'll be back here again. Every Monday we're here live 12 o'clock Eastern. I'll be live later this afternoon on the show, on my show page, the show Sarnia. I'll be live with 3 guests and talking about Mental Health Awareness Week as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you to my guests, including you, son. Get back to work.
You. Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed it.
Thanks
Okay,
again,
cheers.
everybody.
Have
Take
a good
care. Bye
show.
for now.
Thursday.